It's funny when I asked you if, since we're like, we're being live streamed. Well, just before we get the meeting officially rolling, I'd asked you if Redocly would output to other forms like YAML or JSON, or as opposed, and you said that they do, and it does, and then I realized, like, well, that's probably a bad, I mean, I don't know, probably a bad question, because, well, the whole value of like what we were really trying to get to with Redocly was, or is, well, code samples. I don't know that code samples is the right, but like example requests and maybe sample responses. And if all that we were taking from it was like the YAML output, well then, but then we don't have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad that you're here. You'll get it figured out, I'm sure. So.
Sure.
Sorry. So, hello everyone, welcome to today's Meshery development meeting, and I'll be hosting the meeting today. So, as our tradition goes, like we start with the introduction to introducing people to our call who is joining the call for the first time. So I would just pick few names whom I think like is joining for the first time. If you're joining the call for the first time, feel free to unmute yourself and give a little bit of your introduction so that we can know each other. I'll wait until someone just comes in. Or
hi.
Hello.
My name is hi Abhishek. My name is Usman Goswami. I've completed my engineering in computer science, and then currently I'm working as a software tester. And I also have experience as a developer, around 3 years. And now I'm joining the open source community to learn more and contribute to this, to the open source community. So that's my passion. So that's why I joined. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thanks, Roshan, for joining the call. Thanks for introducing yourself as well.
Okay,
yeah. Feel free to roam around.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having your webcam on too. That's nice. Thank you, Roshan. Everybody's encouraged to turn on their webcams, by the way. So yeah, please do. It's nice to connect with people, especially if it's not foggy in your neighborhood. So all right.
Yes, thanks, Roshan. So the next, I think who is joining the call newly is Rex, I believe. Rex, did you just join the call for the first time today?
Now Rex has been initiated. He's been.
I just did. I'm actually interested. It's hard to keep up with noise. Yeah, hi guys. Good day. I hope you're doing good.
We're doing great. Actually, Rex might have an agenda item a little bit later. I think Ritik's name was next to it, but if Rex is on, maybe he'll. I think Ritik is out, so maybe. Anyway, there's a couple of other new folks. So Gyan, do you want to say hi and introduce? Prasanth B, come on out. Come on down.
Hi, sir.
Gyan, how are you? What made you join? What are you here for? Who are you? What's your favorite color?
I'm fine, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful. It takes a lot of guts to say hi on the call, by the way. So Gyan, say a little bit about yourself if you would.
Yes,
What's the
sir.
name?
Myself, Gyan Prakash Pandey. Currently, I am pursuing BTech in domain of CSE. I am new to open source, but I will try my best to put my efforts.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you're doing a great job already. Video is up.
Yes, sir.
You're introducing yourself on the call in front of a bunch of strangers. It's great. All right. Damkriti, have you said hi before?
Yes, I have talked to you
Oh,
few months ago.
a few months ago. Oh, that doesn't count.
Now I have joined 3 meetings continuously
Oh.
with video on also.
Okay, well that
Now
counts.
before that I was not able to know what is working well on what you are working on it. Now literally while watching continuously 3 meetings, now I'm able to tell what you are doing and how can I contribute. And Yash told me about very much about this layer 5, so that's the reason I am here. And he was just motivating me all the time, so that can I learn from your startup.
Awesome. Wait, who did you say was motivating you?
Yash,
Not that guy. He's one of those mesh mates, isn't he? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
he's a great guy.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, he is. Yeah, that's why he's a mesh mate. That's great. Well, so Sudhanshu and a few others host the weekly newcomers call on Thursday, which you might. Well, you still like it's not necessarily a one-time thing. Like I encourage you to go a few times to that Thursday call because there's always something new. There's more activities and agenda items than we have time to cover today, I suspect. But so Thursday's call is like where it's at.
Okay.
Pranav.
Thanks.
Hello, sir. And your dog's name is? So Prasanth, where are you calling in from? Yeah, we might be having audio trouble. Prasanth, at the moment, we just can't hear you, but feel free to say hi in chat. Shola, have you said hi before?
No.
Oh, all right.
Hi, hello everyone.
Oh, and where are you calling in from today?
Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos, not there. It would have been great had you said like Kenya or like some, just. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get kicked off this call if I keep making jokes like that. Shola, great to have you. How'd you find out about the community? About the project?
Linux Foundation.
Oh, very good. Good. Nice. Okay. Well, good. Well, who else have we not gotten a chance to harass? Devrar Shah. Devarsh Shah. I'll slaughter it again if you don't say hi. Hey, Devarsh, you there? You want to say hi? All right. Good. All right. Well, if we missed anybody, please say hi in chat. And Bobby, I'll get out of your hair.
Okay, we are waiting someone to say hi. If not, let's start with the agenda items.
Good to go.
So yeah. So some standing things that we should discuss is since you all are joining this call, like you might be already liking the project and you might have already looked into it. So yeah, if you like it, please star this repository, and you can see the star graph that it's going steep now, so that's really good for us. And yeah, please star if you like the project. And second one is that that anyone who wants to, be comfortable with, who wants to be comfortable with the Meshery and its ecosystem, like we strongly encourage that you should create a design, publish a design. Feel free to ask anything in the Slack. Feel free to sign up for the mesh map beta, and just go ahead and create a design. Once your design is published in the, once you request your design to be published in the Meshery catalog or cloud native catalog, you will get a tweet sent by Meshery IO account with your name and your design within it. So yeah, if you have any question around this, like feel free to ask in right now or ask in the chat. I'll move to the first agenda item for today. And Abdullah, would you talk about mesheryctl filter import command?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please go ahead.
There is a new mesheryctl filter command to import WASM filters into Meshery. It's called mesheryctl filter import. So this is some of the behavior that we support. We can import filters through a URL. We can import filters through any local filters that we have in the system. We can import that through a path to the filter. When importing filters, we can also specify additional configurations to the filter. So the configurations may be specified as a local file that might contain the configuration for the filter, as well as a configuration string can be specified. This PR has been merged, so master should have this command, and we can also specify the name when importing a filter. Other than that, I have went through all the mesheryctl filter commands and made sure that they work as expected. And yeah, that's pretty much it from my side.
Yeah, but, have you gotten a chance to confirm that that each of these commands are in the mesheryctl reference guide? The reason I ask is because you've been doing really well with the docs and the API docs, by the way. But the reason I ask is because the majority of the documentation that you've written here gets automatically, I think you know this, but it gets automatically published to the Meshery docs, which is nice. So the docs are self-publishing. However, there's one piece of automation that isn't there, and it is when there's a new subcommand or a new command added, it's a manual thing at the moment.
Since this PR was merged today, I did not go ahead and check Meshery docs for whether the page for this command is up. After this call, I'll go ahead and do that. Other than that, another thing that I would have to update is we have a Google Sheet with the information for all the commands that we have. And since I will have to go there and update, add information for this new command as well. So these are two things that I'll be doing, which I'd not done so far since this command wasn't on master yet.
Sound good out.
Okay.
I've checked the
Any more?
command is not yet listed there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of the new commands is not listed. Is that what you were saying?
Yep, the import sub command is not present.
Yeah, I will create an issue for that, and maybe Aditya can do it, or I'll look into how that can be done.
Awesome. Yeah, so Abdullah, some fine work. One thing that you might want to do is send out, put somewhere in this Slack or in the Zoom chat or something, or on the discussion forum, might be even better, is just like an example of the usage, which I'm sure that you already have in the docs, but like if there's a sample filter that somebody might want to explore just to see how the command works, and that might be a way of uncovering any bugs. Not that there would be any bugs in your code, but maybe someone else's code next to your code. So
I'll do that. I'll put up a message about the command.
What's the bug bounty up to for your bugs? If someone finds a bug in your code, it's what? You shake your head. Is that the okay? All right. I'm just. Oh, great. Aabid, back to you. What's next?
Next is Freedisch. He will be talking about integration. Redocly integration into Meshery UI.
Yeah.
Or in Meshery docs in general.
All right. So, okay. So since March, we have been trying to move from Redocly from Swagger to Redocly. And like one of the main issue of that move was the integration to the current doc, and especially for the layout. And recently, I actually had like an interesting discussion with one of the engineer at Redocly, and from there, one other thing that came out was the fact that the current way of trying to integrate like Redocly inside of Meshery doc is by actually generating the HTML output. But the thing with that HTML output, we cannot control where it will. In which directly it will come out. So basically, it will always be outputted inside of the directory where there is the config file, and then, which is actually bad because we want it to be inside of our layout page. But yeah, that's it. That's like one of the downsides with trying to do it with the HTML doc. So my new suggestion actually is like instead of like trying to generate the doc by HTML, we should instead like just deploy the Meshery, the Redocly API doc inside of somewhere a local environment, or doesn't matter where, but a container or whatever. But we just deploy it there and add it as an embedded like website inside of our current documentation. So, and by doing that, actually, we can have like we can have all those crazy features about Redocly, like pagination, filtering, and yeah, like all those things that we can actually, that was limiting us with the previous way of the integration. So I actually did like give it a try. So basically, this is I currently like running the Redoc inside of a local environment, and I just integrated inside of Meshery docs. So basically, that's it. And now we don't have like to worry about like for example the layout or anything. We that's it. Like as you can see, it's kind of way better, like literally better than what we had previously. So basically, like right now, if we have to go with that, like the next step will be just to find a way to deploy, like to deploy Redoc inside of a container, or doesn't matter where, but to somewhere that will be actually available inside of Meshery doc, like that. Sorry, let me share it. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, that's it. And by doing that, also there will be actually some impact on actually the current workflow. We'll have to add some workflow to make sure that our container running our API doc is working and everything. Yeah, basically that's it. Let me just share like the document what I worked on. So yeah, that's it for me. Anything?
Is this doc inside of the community drive? If not,
no. I just like build it like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, Vivek, can you help him create a design spec and maybe move it into the drive so that others can access it and we can
Yes,
have
yes.
it. Oh, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Anybody have feedback?
So like the issue was the generated doc index.html or doc.html is plays not under the layout folder, right? Like it is generated outside the layout folder.
Yeah, it's actually generated outside of the layout folder. And when we try to integrate it, it's I don't know if you.
So like,
basically, that's actually.
Did you use this option like using this output flag and passing the location where you want to generate the file?
Yeah. Actually use them, but the thing is that it just use like the custom HTML template that we put.
Yep, nice. Well, the nice thing is that during a CI build or during the workflow, the output can just be moved to wherever we want it to be. So that's fine. So it's really not a problem about where it lands initially, because you can just, I'll say it again, just because it may not be familiar, but inside the workflow, just move the file to a different location, commit it to the repo. I like the iframe thing. The iframe thing is ill-advised. It could work. It's not ideal. We don't want to have people. When will people reference the API? When they're contributing to Meshery? Yeah. When they're so would they have built the server? Quite possibly. Probably. Even if they're just working on UI. Or the CTL client, either the UI client or the CLI client, they're going to be referencing the APIs. They're going to be building things. So like, it's not without question that like a requirement to be able to view the API docs is to, be having built the system or running a container. It's just less convenient. And it's not, so Thibault, you've done some fine work. So these comments these are supportive comments. Like the iframe is ill-advised. The container is unnecessary. We can just move the doc to that output to wherever we need it to be. If we really want it customized, we could just take the YAML output and do liquid templating around it. Like, use Jekyll as the framework in this case, but use Jekyll to present it how we would like to. Like even basically the reason that we were going for Redocly is because it had it conveniently formatted some sample queries and if we have sample output, it will show sample output. But its lack of flexibility and the requirement to have their enterprise license to, truly customize it makes it like we should have killed the proof of concept a long time ago. Just because the proof of concept should have said, hey, is this easy? Is this feasible? Can we see the light at the end of the tunnel? And for the core value that we were looking for, and we don't. Like, if you can, like, just before we give up, like if you can, the other way to do it is to have a layout and we should probably, I'll say this very quickly, is to have a layout inside the docs that disables either one or both of the sidebars in the docs so that there gives additional space to the API docs. The API docs has a second level, has its own navigation, for like looking at its own menu, which becomes confusing because, so if the other two go away, you still stay within the docs itself. And you basically give the whole page or most of the room to the Redocly HTML. That might be a quick win. If not, the more arduous approach, but the tighter integration approach is to output YAML, work through iterators with liquid templating in Jekyll to just query the data source and then wrap the existing CSS around it to build out something very similar. And actually, quite frankly, just to borrow what they have from their HTML output, use all the same mechanisms, just slice it up one time you create a new layout page that uses that sliced up HTML and CSS, but uses the YAML as the data source. If any of that's confusing, come see me. We'll have one final chat, give it one final go. And yeah, it's good. But creative solution, it's good. Good.
Okay, thanks, Freedisch. Meyazhagan, would you like to talk about this?
Yeah.
This agenda item, yeah.
Yeah, I will start.
Okay, thank you.
Meyazhagan, did you want to provide some context as to what you're going to show as you prepare your environment?
Yeah.
Hard to do two things at once, isn't it? Aabid, hopefully you help curate today's meeting agenda. What's he going to show while we're waiting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
able
he's gonna-
to see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, but Meyazhagan, that's going to cost you. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What was the issue was like when we are like importing the filters using the GitHub URL, like if the URL pointing to a single file, what happens in background, it like cloning the entire repo and then like trying to get a particular file, so that I'm like handling the single file like with the separate like yeah, here it can able to see like if the GitHub URL like will be having like blob or raw, so that you can able to find it was and it was referring to a file, and then if you're able to get the URL, and then like we directly download it from the URL and then add it as an filter.
What does it matter about the blob or GitHub user content raw or how to
Okay.
No, that's not what I'm asking. You're trying to create a convenience operation to, in case the user who's going to be setting up injection of a WebAssembly based filter for Envoy, in case they're not bright enough to understand that they have to provide an accessible URL that actually goes directly to the WASM filter. You're writing this convenience operation to help. I would say don't. You're just going to include bugs. You're just going to accidentally get the logic wrong, or they're going to, Meshery, GitHub's going to change their URL slightly, or like the requirement is someone gives an accessible URL. If it's accessible, great. You can, alternatively, you could have that logic and show it in the UI, like as a suggestion. Did you mean this? And give them the link, but replacing it for them underneath the covers, while your intentions are good, like many contributors here have proven time and time again that over-engineering and trying to over-optimize the experience ends up getting us into trouble. And we end up, having a dishonest relationship with the user. We're saying, hey, we'll go get it from where you told us to. And on the back end, it's like, no, we're not. We're going to go get it from over here. And you're probably not telling them that. Instead, it's a great idea what you have. I would submit to you to consider that perhaps instead to let them know, hey, the URL that they provided isn't accessible. And by the way, contributors like Meyazhagan have put in enough smarts to say, this might be what you meant. Is this what you meant? Because this is accessible. And that's a great experience. And it's one that doesn't get us in trouble because it's just a suggestion. We could be wrong. They might intentionally want it to go there. You know? So, what do you think?
Like I couldn't get like last one.
Okay. Anybody else have thoughts?
I think he might be solving the problem where we have the crawling issue, and replacing blob with raw helps in the way that raw actually downloads the raw file, and blob shows the same in the UI. But definitely there's some mutation in the backend. It might change anytime. So
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So Aabid, are we supporting the crawling of a, like that's not what the issue title speaks to, is it? Doesn't it say importing of a single file? Handled file import by GitHub URL. But
actually
if he is going for bulk import, is that something that we support? Meshery supports?
not at the moment. Even the GitHub file crawler has been, or removed. So he's changing the file, which is a default local provider. So it might be just a local provider thing. The changes that are done in the remote provider. Pranav can confirm.
It's okay. Like we should move on. And Meyazhagan, this is a great idea. Please, I encourage you to rewatch the live stream, the recording, to into what I suggested. Maybe it's garbage what I said, but please give it consideration.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, somebody's on.
Sorry. Yeah. Yash, are you there? Would you like to talk about this UI enhancement in publish catalog model?
Sure, let me share the screen.
Please take it back.
Okay, so this is the issue. Actually, the issue is that when you go to the if you are new to this meeting, so when you create a design and when you publish a design, so you saw an modal to publish an design. So with the issue with this modal is that this currently does not meet the user's requirement, like this pattern caveats. It is not meeting the user requirements and not showing the things that that users should know. So to improve this, also this is also using the new RJSF form, but not reusable. We have already a model in which we are using RJSF to, so this is a new model for that. So yeah, so in this form we are using the RJSF form, reusable RJSF form that we have, and I also added the I button over here so that we can directly go to the submit, so that we can, so if user want to understand the Meshery catalog flow, how it is published, so they can understand. Yeah, so this is an improvement over here. Obviously, there is an improvement need of alignment in this section. So Harkirat is helping over here because currently in RJSF configurator that we are not manually passing the space how this particular field should take. Currently, these are the fields are automatically taking the space on the basis of their field type. So yeah, so any feedback on this?
I wonder if there should be. I wonder if there should be a title to this model, because ideally all our models have a title like publish to catalog. And then there should be a cross button, rotating cross button. So
Rotating.
Yeah, title was the one thing actually. I was just curious about how technologies are built in. Have you incorporated the items from Meshery Cloud?
Yeah, actually, I took from the Meshery cloud, and these are the hard coded, as we need to make them dynamic, and I will push the changes. I made the changes, but I need to push those changes.
Okay. Same for type as well.
No, these are also hard coded.
Okay.
Do we also need to make them dynamic?
I'm just curious whether the two things like types and technology is in sync with the what we have inside Meshery Cloud native catalog. I mean Meshery Cloud catalog. So yeah, that's one thing. Other than that, can we have titles to each field? I think RJSF by default doesn't provide it.
By title, do you mean by adding an option over here, like something? This technology section.
Yeah, might be. Or the one we have earlier where it shows name and then a text field of name, then type, then text field of type. So
The label set, it's the field label on the label set. So if you go back to your current design, yeah, is this your current design right here?
Yeah.
What you were just, okay. Yeah, never mind, I'm misspeaking. The field label does come as you enter into the, but I think which is, different, it behaves the same. They all behave the same once they have a value or once there's focus. The field, the placeholder moves to a field label. Yeah, it would be helpful to have labels or separate labels that describe, that say, this is what the field is, potentially. Particularly probably for something like the caveats and considerations. So if you would, there's some feedback here. Yeah, use the standard modal. So there's, there's the spinner, there's the title, but then there's also the icon. So please use the standard modal. Please move the submit for approval into the center of the screen. Please move the eye on the right-hand side of it, which is the same that you've got for the other, the exclamation mark and the question mark. You'll maintain consistency there for the user. The coloring will be appropriate on the app bar when you use the standard modal. Please put description first. Go ahead and make description full width as well as caveats and considerations full width so that people get the sense that it really is a text area. By the way, will you please start typing in the text area? Okay, so it's not expandable. Please make the field expandable in case they have a book that they want to write, which should be allowed. Don't source the technology or the type from Meshery Cloud Catalog. That's inappropriate suggestion. Source it from Meshery Server, which is described inside the issue as specific. There's a specific API to go source it from. Mesh models model. Mesh models models, if you would. And then please guarantee that you're using the standard button. That icon looks dangerously close to the S in submit, if you would. Also remove the gray background from the form. And I think you're about good to go after that.
Sure.
Thank you for your service. Or yeah, it's a lot of feedback, but you're getting there. This is like the second, third, or fourth, or fifth iteration on this, not from you, but I mean, just in general. So, so we're gonna nail it. Just gonna feel good. One thing that I do understand is it is slightly confusing for users and there isn't necessarily a lot of context. If you would please click the I button. Okay, and that just opens up a new page to the docs, to the catalog. Good, good. It would be nice if another contributor or Yash followed up with something, potentially slightly different, like, a rich tooltip that gave a concise, piece of info that says something along the lines of the fact that there is a review by the Meshery maintainers prior to publication, and that's just to help curate the catalog. So there's a catalog curation process, and that to expect review or to set some kind of expectations, and then also with the link at the bottom that says that takes them to this page for full explanation, and a place to where with whom they might follow up with the maintainer's mailing list would be good. I believe that the email that's sent out to the maintainer, so Yash, related to this, but maybe feedback for other maintainers here, the email that goes out, I don't believe it includes, it would be nice if the submitter is included in the same email that is sent to project maintainers, so that if there are questions about during the curation process, that could just be facilitated in a common email, a common thread. So Yash, did you also confirm the other valid, looks like you've got some good validation rules here. If you click on the red exclamation mark, what does it say? Just this is required. Oh dear Lord, not that. That required property. Gosh, could that be any more computer science and phrasing? Like it doesn't. Anyway, it would be a lot more helpful if it said something like these, while you may not have any caveats, there, like a better explanation as to like what it actually is, and an example of, I can help with some of that. Did you also have validation rules for the name of the, so there should be a difference between the file name and the name of the content, which things like untitled are disallowed. Were you able to add validation for that?
So, no, actually, I didn't edit the validation for that yet. So when we are publishing, do we need validation for now? Like if this is the name is wrong.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I described that and a couple of other rules inside the issue, if you would. I realize that might be outside the bounds of the form for the moment, so maybe you can include it as just hidden data in the form and do something. But hopefully Harkirat can help too. That's good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have feedback?
Just confirm that, Yash, like this technology is multi-select or
Actually, it is not. It is not multi-selected. When we make that multi-select, it actually uses the array, and in that, actually, we when it needs an improvement, a little improvement. Harkirat is helping in that case, because if I will make that multi-select, it will act as an array where you will add plus by plus sign. But the problem with that is you can add the two technologies with same name, and this should not be allowed. So Harkirat is helping in that case. Like we can only select, we can have the multi-select in that case. Yeah.
Thank you, Yash. Let's move to Aabid. Aabid, would you like to talk about charts and statistics that you are incorporating in Meshery UI dashboard?
Yeah, hi guys. So we're revamping the dashboard for Meshery and also the Meshery Cloud. So currently, one idea is to add some nice charts to the dashboard so we can provide users better information and also like make it visually appealing. So we actually added a bunch of charts to the Meshery UI, so like donut and a pie chart, and we're currently looking on more ideas for charts to make it more visually appealing and actually also provide valuable insights to the user. So currently, I think this one is in work in progress, like connections and mesh sync. So here are some ideas we can incorporate there. Like one idea was like it's also in the Figma file, so we can add a donut chart for presenting the number of components in different states. So like we have a bunch of states like connected, ignored, registered, and discovered. So we can have a donut chart which shows the number of components in each state. And another idea which I was having is like we can have this like time series chart, so we can need a bit of like I think a backend work to store the active connections, and I think this is like maybe a good idea. We should like see if it is currently feasible or we can do it in quickly. So this was one idea, and this will I think this will go into Meshery UI. We have this mesh sync. Another idea was like I was looking at the workspaces, which also I think work in progress. So we have I got this idea like we can have this normalized bar charts for representing the states of workspace. Like in the workspace, we have like number of teams, we have number of users, and those we can have these like this take bar charts for them. Like these can be different workspaces, and these states could be there like states like this can be user count, and this can be teams. Like we have a bunch of states there, so we can represent it. That one idea was like we can also show these on the dashboard. Like we don't necessarily need them to be on the workspaces page. We can also add it in dashboard, like especially this one, like the connections one. Like this is going to be in the Meshery UI. So I think the dashboard is a little bit less informative currently, and we also removed the connections actually from the visual in the sidebar. So I removed them in my first PR. So we can have this donor chart also there, or maybe this line chart, because we are already having a bunch of donors there. So we can choose from these two, like maybe a donut or line chart there also. And another thing that was like for the Meshery dashboard, like we have those all workloads. This is a data table currently. So my idea was like, these are pretty bad mock-up, but like I was thinking like having the cards to represent them, that we have nodes and we have, I think, a bunch of other stuff related to like particular, like we can filter it, like we have the istio cluster or something like that. We can also filter these then accordingly. And another thing was we have like the configuration part where we have different filters, designs, and applications. We can also provide insights about them in the dashboard. Like we can have a bar chart which shows number of filters, designs, and applications available to our server. Actually, we need a bunch of good ideas here. Like this is just where I was currently brainstorming. So we need some feedback and ideas here that would be really helpful to make dashboard better. Like we can provide some information about clusters which are connected. So that would be really helpful here.
Great.
Any feedback, guys?
Good work with first of all, and then I think there are some backend requirements for quantifying the data that we have in order to show the charts, right?
Yeah, some need like this time season, I think requires data from the backend, but these can be like, we can like previously we did just like filter the data and clean it up on like which we are already having like number of companies.
Okay.
These can be easily cleaned up from the APIs we already have, but I think someone might need a bit of backend work.
Okay.
Like this can be done like
yeah, you can still, I mean, you can still start working on the charts, incorporating it with some mocked data that you might expect it coming
Yeah,
from the
if you
backend.
can have some spec about the data, like a contract, what where I'm going to expect, then I can start working without backend being up.
Sure. Pranav might be helpful here, just to give you some gist, or we might have another call.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments?
Just a quick one from me. Aabid is making a call for collaborators. So if you're into UI, we're using Meshery UI is using React, but the specific chart library that's being used here is currently, what is it, Aabid?
Billboard.js.
And Aabid's just gotten done adding a couple of new, well, there's a release that just went out during the meeting, actually. And it has some of Aabid's work right in the dashboard. So you'll all have to go check it out. He's looking at bringing more visualizations to more of the pages. And so he's trying to ideate here about like various ideas. He's kind of toying with them. He's asking for other people to come in and make suggestions and engage with him. There's a bunch of data that Meshery has. Lots of info about the clusters and the cloud native apps and all these integrations and like, and there's a ton of different chart types in Billboard.js. So I encourage everybody to engage with Aabid.
Yeah,
I
we
wanted
have
to
a lot of
confirm
data
if
here,
he's
but we just need ideas. Like there's a lot of data to work with. We need some good ideas so we can visualize it better and provide help to the users. So it's really we need some help with the ideas.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, are you doing like are you working on Figma as well? Like are these designs on Figma? If I could help
No,
out.
these are just like I pick up some from internet and some little random prototyping in Figma, but I'm not good with Figma. So this is just like little bit of visualization of the ideas.
It's because I saw some components there. That's why I was thinking if you had it on Figma, then we could brainstorm on some concepts, some layouts that you might use, and then try and implement on React when you maybe have something concrete with Figma. That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, that would help, but I'm not good with Figma. So like I tried.
Like I said, I could help you if we could.
Yeah, we can do some
schedule a meet. I'll message you on Slack and then. All right, that's fine. That's cool.
That would be helpful.
I hope that we are not bounded by the Billboard JS library. I think there are much more popular libraries out there that have much beautiful curves. So
yeah, I talked about that with Lee, but I think we can currently there are a lot of charts also in Billboard. Just like one we tried was tree map that I couldn't get it running. It was showing some errors, but most of other charts are currently working properly. So I think we can get away with that right now.
Yeah.
So by adding charts, do you mean like they are like generalized component, the sort of reusable, or like
yeah, actually I create a component for the chart, but it's more like we have to put it like in the option, like for different charts, there are different kinds of options. Rest it's only one chart component. So that's general.
Okay. Thanks, Aabid.
Thanks, guys.
Next is an item from two items from Vaibhav, but they're related to meshery.io website. So are we gonna be I think Meshery website weekly meeting is what this topic best belongs to. So Vaibhav, do you like to talk about this on this call, or would you wait for the next meeting?
Just wait for the next meeting. You know, like,
yeah,
it's a great topic.
Sure. Then Usman, you're up next with permission enforcement and security.
Right. So I just wanted to ask that aside from security, identity, and catalog, where else do we want permissions enforced?
I think we require it in all the pages, all the components, because I think that was the main aim for using a library like Castle. So that is what I think.
Like for the account tab and the workspace, and workspace is not yet ready. And for the account one, we need extra keychain, I think. Pranav, do you think so?
You can also start doing the work in Meshery UI, because I think we have already done some, like we have already started doing good work in Meshery Cloud UI. So I think we can start doing it in Meshery UI as well.
Right.
Because we already have the APIs.
So I should stop for the Meshery Cloud for now, right?
What's next?
Next is Sudhanshu's item, component search grid table, common search component.
Yeah, so like in Meshery UI, like specifically application filter design or grid view plus table view, we do not have a common search component. So like in grid, we can't search anything. And also like this search is not like as good as UX. So I have just like made a common search component. So it's normal, like some styling required to wrap up. Otherwise, the component was fine, and I have removed that from the table. So this single search will like apply to all grid and table view. And it also like design search was not working in the UI. So that is also been done in this only like in this PR. It will be done in this PR. So regarding except some styling requirements, the work is like it's working fine. Yeah.
What was the issue with the inbuilt search from the data table? Because if that's the case, then we should do the same for catalog and like in cloud as well.
Yeah,
where we
like
still have the table.
yeah, that is nothing like issue, but in cloud that search used to like the search we are having in the cloud. Basically, it's the title of the table. So the buttons we are having in the cloud catalog clouds, like any of the sections, it hides that buttons, right? So it is not like the use case we require. So we have for the catalog items, we'll require in all teams, users, keychains, that part. That's common search component.
Okay. I hope that you are taking care of the styling issues. I don't think there would be any change to the built-in search behavior that we have at this point. As Lee is also saying this. So yeah. Pranav, you're up next.
So my topic is about supporting model and category registration in remote provider. So for a little bit of context, Meshery as an extensible cloud native manager can support different integrations. And for this, Meshery has its own type of representation of object, which is in the terms of mesh models. And like there's a little bit of hierarchy which goes around this, which is like mesh models, then components, relationships. Now we have policies. So if you want to know more about the details of it, there's a doc around that which you can read. But right now, the aim of this issue was to support component models registration in the remote provider. And remote provider is a way of Meshery. So that Meshery remote provider is basically there are two ways of starting Meshery, whether you connect to a remote provider or a non-provider. Remote provider basically brings its own kind of extensibility and its own components and its own different functionalities so that you can enhance the basic core functionality of Meshery. So the requirement of model and category registration is because one of the remote providers, that is Meshery Cloud, it has its own catalog, and currently if you see this technology and all this stuff is participated in the UI. So the requirement was that we will be persisting the categories as well as the models in the database, and then we will be retrieving that through an API, which we already do it in Meshery server, and we want similar thing in Meshery Cloud as well. So that is the thing. And how we source all this information is through this spreadsheet, which is the single source of truth, not only for our Meshery server, also for our two websites, that is layer5.io and meshery.io. Now it will be Meshery Cloud as well. So yes, so now my progress is that I've already completed it. It is little other than this one small item, it's already done and merged. So what I have done is that now like our component updater script actually supports a new flag, that is system. There are three systems as a remote provider, Meshery server, and website. So like I have to document this a little bit more, but if you provide remote provider and you provide two paths, one is for the backend where you would be storing the models. The second one is for the UI where you will be showing the icons. So once you do that, it will automatically generate all the models as well as the icons in the file system. And then it's like the exact same way how it does in Meshery server.
So now only leftover item in Meshery's UI is that I just have to update the workflow to start using this new command. And in remote provider, I have to just use database. Basically, I have to just persist this data in the database for which tables are already there. I have to just create an API. That is the thing. Any questions? Yes, and we also require mesheryctl command because so that Meshery server can be used for dynamically registering models to the remote provider. So you can read more about this in the issue. It's quite well. Yes. Any questions?
Yeah, what is anyone working on, or is anyone assigned to work on that command? If not, now is a good time for a brief description and a call for a volunteer.
So basically, the use of this mesheryctl command would be to invoke that component updater script, and that then it would just like fetch all the data from the spreadsheet, and then it will do the generation process. Currently, it's done through a separate binary file, which should be included in the Meshery server. So that is one of the aspects of this remaining item. So anybody would like, if you would like to work on this, then you can comment here, and some of the maintainers will find that issue, so that you can start working on it. If you have any questions, you can ask this issue, or you can create a discuss forum thread where we discuss.
Thanks, Pranav. That's a call for volunteer. So feel free to do so. And I think we are over time, so we have put few items for the future. If there is a important thing that we can discuss in a few minutes, and we might cover it right now, or we can say goodbye to this on this call, and we'll meet next Wednesday, same time. Anything important, Uzair, Philip, you might that you would like to talk about it?
Yeah,
right now?
yeah. About the unit test I was trying to propose for the handlers in the server package for Meshery. Let me share my screen, please, briefly. Please. Yeah. Coming. There's a particular pull request I created.
Are you sharing your correct tab?
Okay. From the I'm having some lags on my system. Let me just explain what I want to talk about. There's a particular pull request I created some few hours ago. It's about unit tests for the handlers components in Meshery. I included the link there in the discussion in the meeting item there. So you can look it up, and you can also join me in writing the test for it, because that particular aspect is a central component for layer 5 Meshery, I observed. So I think unit test should be written for it. That's the important thing I'm just trying to say here. So I don't mind anyone joining me in writing it. It's an important thing we should also look into.
Nice. Yeah, Philip did forget the gentleman's name, but he was recently introduced in Slack. Did you guys end up connecting?
Yeah. We've been discussing. Yes, we have. So we are trying to figure out things. By this weekend, we should come up with something about the dependencies for Meshery. Yeah, we're trying to figure out something on that.
Oh, good.
Sorry,
good
my system was just hanging. Sorry about that.
Oh no.
So you can link if you want to discuss more about this unit test.
One thing that would be great to, I think, not only for you, but just for everyone else to track is the code coverage, like the percentage of coverage for a given component. And that way you will know if we're generally moving forward or if we're moving backwards, depending upon new PRs, adding new features, but not having test coverage. Like it would be great. We have in our roadmap, we have certain percentage targets of code coverage that we're looking for. And so, yeah, did you happen to know what that percentage is off the top of your head for MesheryCtl? That's where you're focused.
No, but I can look it up. I'll look it up definitely.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, Philip. Strongly agree to add more unit tests and increase the code coverage. So I think we should stop here now, and we would meet again next Wednesday, same time. So thanks everyone for joining the call, and have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Avi. Bye.